Thursday evening up in this piece. Yes, sir. Back at it, man. Today I'm gonna talk about something that I never shared with anybody before, and and these days and times, it's probably I'm gonna say it's probably not a bad idea to give it a try. you know, it's not a bad idea today. You know what I realized, that sometimes what we think is going to work out for us usually is not the best option for us. That's probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned over the past, I don't know, 20, 30 years of my life. What we think is best for us, in most cases, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's usually that's one of the biggest lessons I learned. Sometimes we only know what we know based on our being in our comfort zone and being in our own environments that we spend most of our time in. And I realized that that's not the case. I realize that sometimes, what's up, what's up, what's up, where you from, where you from? I realize in many cases, I'm pretty good. I'm fantastic. I realize in most cases, what I thought was best for me, or the people, or the person I thought was best for me, wasn't. In Texas, what part of Texas? What part? You Houston? Houston or Dallas? No, Houston, Austin? Houston or Austin? Which one is it? Gainesville? Well, I don't know nothing but Gainesville. Oh, that's cool though. I don't know nothing but Gainesville. How is it there in Gainesville, Texas? How is it there? I didn't know they had a Gainesville in Texas. I thought it was Gainesville, Georgia, and Florida. I didn't know they had one of those in Texas. Yeah, I don't know nothing with that. Nice. Lots of potheads. Oh, okay. Damn. Shit. Yeah, it'd be like that in certain, there's certain towns like that. I don't know why that is. I've asked somebody that. Why do you think there's certain places where the weed is and is everywhere? There's certain towns like that. I don't know why that is. I have my ideas. I think it has something to do with the airport. Like Atlanta's like that. Everything is running rapid in Atlanta. But Atlanta has an international airport. That's why that is. I have my I don't have no proof for that. But I have my own ideas. It probably has something to do with the airport. If it's an international airport, it's going to be a lot of pot and everything else all around. I have my ideas, including you smoke too. Okay, you 23? Oh, okay. I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but I just don't smoke. I quit a long time ago. It's hard on your teeth, hard on your gums, hard on your body. I just I let it go. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I don't run those circles no more. So everybody I'm around, they don't drink or smoke. So, how old am I? I'll say this. I'm old enough to be you. I'm old enough. You could be my son. I'll put it like that. Shit. You know what I'm saying? No. I'm like 20 years higher than that. You know. They say I'm an OG in the game. That's what they told me. They say I'm an OG. I said, oh, okay. I made it. Mama, I made it. No, I'm more than 40. I'm in the 50s. Mama, I made it. I made it. Oh, P.S. by the way. Hey, go check out my best-selling book. Go check out my best-selling book. Love at First Click. Amazon.com. 500 pages a game. Amazon.com. Oh, it's been a bestseller. It's been a bestseller. You said 56? No, I ain't that old. No, not 56. Not quite. I look 39? Oh, okay, I'll take that. 40? I'll take that too. No, I'm not 56. Not quite. Not quite. I ain't made it that far yet. But I'm close though. A couple more years, I'll be there. Yep. A lot of people didn't make my age. A lot of people didn't make it, man. You know. I'm happy I lived to see I'm just happy to be here sometimes, man, to be honest. You know, I wasn't supposed to make it. Depending on some people's standards. You know, and their beliefs. The doctor that said he couldn't do nothing for me, he been gone. The doctor that gave up on me, he been gone. He been gone like what? 25 years ago, he been gone. The racist doctor that gave up on me, he been gone. You know? But it's all good though. Yeah, man, but it is what it is. So, man, somebody asked me if I ever dated a Muslim girl. I have. One thing about the either Muslim girls, one thing I always respected about them is they, for the most part, I mean, nobody perfect. For the most part, they live, they live by their religion, by the Quran, for the most part. And there's somebody around that holds them accountable when they get off track, And plus, when it comes to Muslim women, they wear the fez. I think that's what they call it. And I saw some Muslim women when I was at the store a couple minutes ago, and if they got on the fez, you can't see their body. All you can see is the face, and see that. I think sometimes that's a good thing. Oh, we can't see the body, so that means that if you're a guy looking at a Muslim woman with the fez on, you can't really fetishize. You can't really lust. It doesn't trigger your mind because you can't see her body. You don't know how her body look. So all you're seeing is her face. So you're forced to, as a man, you're forced to, okay, I see her face, so I have to get in a conversation with her if I want to get to know her, like for real, for real. Because I can't see her body. So my mind can't go there. You know what I'm saying? So that's one good thing for most guys, I would say. Because, you know, a lot of guys aren't disciplined like that. A lot of guys can't separate the flesh from personality, her beliefs, her mindset. You know what I'm saying? If a woman's breast is popping out the damn shirt, her ass is shooting out the damn jeans, most guys, that triggers them. Like, oh shit, I wonder how she would be if she was naked. You know what I'm saying? And that's the first thing they think about. A lot of guys can't. They don't have the discipline to kind of like, okay, let me fall back for a second. Let me self reflect. And okay, yeah, she looked good. She got some nice breasts, nice butt, nice lips, whatever, right? But how's her personality? How's her mindset? See, a lot of guys, you know, they put the they put the cart before the horse. You know what I'm saying? That when most guys see an average woman in a pair of jeans and her breast is popping out the shirt, that could go somewhere else. That pretty much dominates their way of seeing the woman at that given moment. But when a Muslim woman is wearing a fez, her body's covered up, he has no choice but to get to know her mentally. You know, because if he doesn't get her mind, you know, he ain't getting nothing else. He ain't never gonna see her body, because wherever the mind goes, the body tends to flow. You know what I'm saying? So if he chooses to stick around, and if he wants to date a Muslim woman, you know what I'm saying? Most guys, if he doesn't get introduced to her, or if he didn't grow up in a Muslim country or a Muslim neighborhood, most guys don't really stick around, unless he's Muslim. If he's Muslim, okay, that's different. But if he's a non-Muslim, most guys ain't gonna really stick around. If the woman's Muslim, no, they be gone. I know a couple guys that gave it a try, but no, usually don't. But one thing I would say, with her being a Muslim, there's a standard there, set already. Even he don't even have to know, but you know there's a standard there. There's a standard, a way of carrying herself, way of eating, living. There's a standard there. You know what I'm saying? And then there's other people to hold her accountable as well. So that's a good thing. So you know that even before you say one word to her. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. Now here's where things get a little difficult. Now, depending on where, there's certain parts of the world where I think all of these quote quote Muslims read the Quran, right? I know there's different versions of the Quran. If I'm not mistaken, I don't really know the difference. I've never really read the whole book, to be honest. But I know the Arabs have a different version of their religion. I know that for a fact. On the outside looking in, it seems like the Arabs, they just do whatever. It looks that way. I'm just observing. Now, I haven't really been around a lot of these guys like that. Uh, but based on my experience being around the Arabs, it seems like they just do whatever. Smoke, drink, buy a prostitute, whatever, but and then they pray to Allah for forgiveness later on. Now see the Muslims over here in America, they don't want to get down. For the most part, they don't get down like that. They don't do all the debauchery like the Arabs do. See, this is why an Arab that's from someplace in the Middle East laughs at a NOI. When the dudes from the NOI, they laugh at them over here because the Arabs know that they be on the bullshit. Basically, they on the bullshit. They not following that damn Quran at all. Most of them not. Based on my experience. Of course, I don't know everybody, but based on what I've seen, there's a lot of debauchery going on over there in that Middle East with a lot of those guys. And the women, they have to go along with it. They don't got no choice. So I don't blame the women. But if you date and if you want to be with a woman from that side of the world, that's where she coming from now. She coming from that environment. And you got Arabs that's in all over Africa. East Africa, they all over the place. I met a girl that was from Nigeria. She was Arab. So you got Arabs all over. They still have a strong hold in the continent of Africa, the Arabs. Still to this day. You know what I'm saying? East Africa, I think West. I think all over the place, really. Besides South, not so much South Africa. Not so much. But East Africa and West Africa, North, yeah, they still got a strong hold over there in them damn countries over there. But the women have to go along with it, regardless of how they feel about some of the debauchery that might be going on. So they practice a different religion versus the Muslims over here, based on my observation. And I've been around both sets. I've been around these guys over the past 30 years. My observation, the Arabs do whatever they want to do, and they pray for forgiveness later. And the NOI brothers over here, they try to do the right thing. Most of them don't drink, don't smoke, eat healthy for the most part, and that's what it is, But like I said, if you're gonna if you want to be with a Muslim girl, you already know before you talk to her, there's a standard there already off top. Now ain't nobody perfect. I'm not saying that, but there's people to hold her accountable. There's a standard there, and you can build from there. You know what I'm saying? Now, most of the time, if you want to meet them, well, today, check this out. You can meet a Muslim girl online today. You couldn't do that. You couldn't do that I don't think you could do that 10 years ago. I didn't see it anyway. But today, you can meet. They be online today. Single. Yeah, all over. They might be in America, or they might be in other countries. Might be in Indonesia. I forgot about Indonesia. Indonesia is a Muslim country. Yeah, could be in Indonesia, could be in Africa, could be over here, could be in the Middle East. You know, yeah. Cap. Man, I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't say nothing wrong. What are you talking about? This is based on my experience. Ain't no cap. This is based on I'm telling you based on my experience. No cap. Nothing. What are you talking about? You can't tell me based on my experience what I've seen and what I heard. I know these guys. And I know these women personally. Jesus, well, I'm not talking about Christianity. Clearly you don't read. There's Arabs. Some of them take on a lot of Arab. Some of them take on a lot of Arab beliefs. Yeah, based on what I've seen personally, a lot of them think they're Arabs. They act like it. The demeanor, the body language. Yeah, that's from what I've seen in my own eyes. Yeah, there's some Nigerians act like Arabs. They act like it. If either that's true or false. You know what I'm saying? Just like there's some Latinos act like white guys. They take on the same demeanor as white guys. Now you can say, well, they wannabes. Okay, you can call it that. So that's either true or false. That's either true or false, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of wannabe Arabs out here. There's a lot of wannabe Muslims out here. Just like there's a lot of wannabe white people out here. A lot of Latinos act like white guys. So that's what I'm talking about. If you go to Nigeria today, you're going to see some guys, and if you look at them real good, they're like, this bitch, she look like she want to be an Arab, or I guess she's a Muslim, I guess. Shit. I'm telling you my own eyes. I've seen this shit. So there ain't no cap. You getting caught up in the titles. And I'm not. No, you don't get caught up in the titles, bro. Just like some Haitians will say, they black when they want to be. Right? But if you catch them and maybe some at the job or something, they'll say, I'm not black. But when the benefits come through, they're black now. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Come on. You know what I'm talking about. You full of shit. That's what it is. You might be one of the guys I'm talking about right now. You probably, you black when you want to be. Some days, oh, I'm from, I'm from Nigeria. I'm black. And you say, we this, we that. Who the hell is we? You just said you from Nigeria 2 weeks ago. It's like, see, a lot of people come over here from other countries, and they go to the wars and go to all the shows and everything. Well, I'm black too. I'm black. And when the damn awards come out, shout out to Kenya. Get your ass out of here. So you got to make up your mind. And see, I've noticed that a lot of these people, where they from, lying is tolerated, kind of normal. But not that shit ain't cool over here. Nah. If you lie over here, you're gonna get called out. You're gonna get called out. When these other countries, it's cool. And see, that's where the woman is coming from. She's coming from a culture of liars, for the most part. A culture of backstabbing, liars. That's where she's coming from. She might not be like that, but hey, man, that shit is gonna rub off on her if she's been around that shit. I don't care who you are. You can't play in the mud and don't get no mud on you. That's what my grandmother used to say. Your environment shapes you, whether you realize it or not. It shapes all of us. The good news is to be aware of it and try to put yourself in a better environment. Self-awareness. Self-awareness makes a big difference when you're aware of something. You know? And see, a lot of people come over here and they just, you know, as soon as they get here, first white people they see, they jump on top of them. You know? And it's like, it's kind of all over the place, man. You know, it's like, and it could be a white man or a white woman. I'm like, y'all wildin', yo. What the hell's going on, man? You gotta have both of them? Shit. Why you can't be just, if you're a man, why you can't just be with a woman? Why you gotta be with the white man and the white woman? Or if you're a woman, why you gotta have the white man? Why you can't just be with one sex? Y'all, you know. And see, I know what happens. I know what y'all got to do when y'all come over here for that green card. Oh, I know what some of them got to do to get that green card. So there's not a lot of standards of people that come over here. But being that she's a Muslim woman, you already know. She has a foundation. Before you even speak to her, before you even say one word to her. And that's a good thing. That's why some people, I would say some guys don't think if a woman says, "Hey, I don't believe in no religion. I don't practice nothing." A lot of guys think that, well, it don't matter to them. I would say that's probably not a good idea to think that way. If she grew up in the church, I wouldn't. That's good. At least she has some type of belief. Ooh, boy, I tell you, today, boy, a lot of people don't believe in anything. They don't believe in anything today. A lot of people don't. They don't got no standards, no beliefs. So I'm like, damn. And you wonder why things don't work out for a lot of people. You wonder why things don't work. You wonder why they have so many problems, because they everything is based on how they feel and based on what their parents taught them when they were growing up, some shit like that. You know, a lot of people have this idea that their parents said they were great at everything, but once they get out in the world, they realize that they can't compete with a lot of people, or based on what their parents taught them, it ain't working out. They ain't working out. They're not who they thought they was, and that runs a lot of people crazy. That's why you got a lot of these white guys going postal out here, shooting up the damn school and shit. That's because a lot of their parents failed them. Their parents taught them that they were, I don't know, great, the best at whatever, you know. And once they figure out they can't get no girls, or somebody like me is getting the girls that they want, oh man, they want to go postal then. Come on, go post. I'm like, man, hell no. This shit ain't supposed to be like that. Them girls supposed to be for me. And me only. Doesn't work out like that all the time. But people that think like that, they don't give a shit. It's, based on what their parents taught them, that's how it's supposed to go at all times. But in the real world, don't work out like that. Nope. Don't work out like that. Don't work out like that, bro. Yeah. It don't. The world is going to show you who you are at some point. Regardless of what your parents taught you growing up, the world is going to show you who you are, how good you think you are, based on your results that you've gotten over a certain length of time. That's how that works. Yeah. But, I think in today's time, I wouldn't shy away from dating a Muslim woman, But most of the time, you usually have to know somebody. You usually have to get introduced. I would say the chances of you approaching a Muslim woman at a store or some shit like that. Well, first of all, most of them are married. Most of them are married. That's the first thing you gotta always keep in mind. But there's some single. But the chances of you approaching a Muslim woman in a store and her being single and you get the phone number is very slim chance of that happening. It's a possibility, but most of them tend to be married. They tend to be taken already. If she's in her 30s, she's probably married. 40s, yeah. But you probably you probably had to date younger. Let's say you're in your 30s, you probably had to meet a girl that's a Muslim girl that's late 20s. More than likely, they'll be single. Unless she's a widow or something like that. Unless she's a widow, her husband died or whatever, and if her, she's probably looking to be married again at some point. But for the most part, most of them are married. That's in the 30s, 40s. But if they're going to be single, it's probably going to be in the 20s. And you're probably going to have to be introduced. And that's usually how it go. Now, unless you're in college or taking some type of class, I've seen that happen. You could probably meet a Muslim woman like that. But if you think you're gonna run up on her on the sidewalk or some shit like that, or the grocery store, that's highly unlikely to happen. You usually have to meet them like inside at an event, school, universities, through somebody, something like that. That's usually how it goes. They don't. You're not gonna meet them at no club. They don't go to clubs, bro. It's usually places that Muslim women usually hang out places that are productive, positive thinking, productive environments where people are trying to do better, live better. Just become a better person. So that's usually where they hang out at. And they not hanging around no place with alcohol. At the club, no, no place with alcohol, drugs, no, Yeah, the guys might be there, but you ain't trying to get the guys, so that don't matter. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. Now, if you live in a big city like New York, Chicago, L.A., um, Houston, uh, even Miami. I see Muslim women in Miami. There's a bunch of them in the big cities. Yeah, but even then, most of them are still married. Most of them are still married. So it's probably the best. Probably your best bet is to get to know some of the Muslim guys. That's probably your best bet. If you're really serious about meeting about dating a Muslim chick, probably your best bet is to get with um, a Muslim guy, get to know them or whatever, and over time, ask them, hey, you know any single women? 9 times out of 10, the answer is gonna be yes. 9 times out of 10, the answer is gonna be yes. He's gonna know some single women because they go to the mosque weekly. You know, they go to the mosque every week. So 9 times out of 10, he's gonna know some single women. And you know what I found? A lot of Muslim women, you might work with some of them. I've worked with some of them, but they have to take the fez off. Some of them keep the head wrap on, but some of them have to take it off, and they have to dress in a suit, like business casual, because of the job. I ran into that too. I remember I used to work at UPS with a woman like that. I thought she was East Indian, to be honest, but I saw her name. And I said, okay, her name, it could be East Indian, or, it could be, she could be from the Middle East somewhere. And she was from Dubai. And she said, she can't, she got to dress business casual. This is just for the job. But she said in her regular life, she would have on the fez. Like, she said if she wasn't at work, she have on. If you see me at the grocery store, she said I have on the fez. I'll be wrapped up. You wouldn't even see. She said she covered her face. All you can see is her eyeball. She was a pretty cool chick. I thought she was from East India, but I was wrong. She's from Dubai, but she had a nice body. She's pretty cool. She was all mixed up. She was brown. She was very brown skinned. She's a little lighter than me. I'd say that. But yeah, but she was married. She was married. You know what I'm saying? And I asked her, hey, you know any people? You know anyone that's single? And she was like, no. She didn't know anybody. Maybe she might have lied. I don't know. But whatever. But there's some women you might work with. Could be Muslims. You just don't know. But based on their name, especially the last name, it could be. You know what I'm saying? Because, see, the last name is very important. Well, in that part of the world, the first and last name, you can kind of tell where people are from in the eastern part of the world or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, they're still women, and they care about family. They want to start a family. They want to have kids. They want to be a wife. The same old shit. Now, how they go about doing it, it's a little different. I gotta plug my phone up. Hold up. Yeah, at the end of the day, they still women. At the end of the day. They want to be married. They want to start a family. They want to, have kids, and they want a husband. It's the same shit, really. You know what I'm saying? They eat different in most cases. That's cool. Eat healthy. There's nothing wrong with that. I ain't got a problem with that. Now, a lot of the shit they eat, I might not eat. You know what I'm saying? But there's something we can eat together. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's usually how it goes. You know, and they'll support whatever you got going on. You know, as long as it's positive, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's been my experience. I can only speak from my experience. You know, I can't tell you what anybody else say on the internet. I'll tell you this is my experience. Because I've been to the Middle East. I've been to Morocco, Dubai, Jordan, UAE. I've been to damn near all them countries. You know, I've been to Europe. I've been to so many countries I forgot. That's how many places I've been to. You know, so you got, at the end of the day, you got some, like I said, some of these countries, the Arabs still have a strong hold there. They still have a lot of influence there. And some of these people that are in that country, they act like Arabs. They do. You know, the demeanor and everything. That's just what it is. You know, some people might not like that, but I'm telling you what I've seen with my own eyes. And some of these people are online. They're online. You know, I'm just saying, you know, some people might have a problem with me saying that, but hey, that's tough. I call it how I see it. You know, and the Muslim, the Islam that they practice in the Middle East is not the same as they practice over here in America, that the NOI brothers practice. It's different. Over here, they seem to live by the Quran, for the most part. They don't smoke, don't drink, don't do drugs, don't do none of that shit. And they take care of their responsibilities and everything, for the most part. And nobody perfect, but they seem to live on the righteous path. You know? Now, in other countries, Middle East, no. They're not. Most of those guys, they use their religion as a shield, based on what I've seen. It's more of a protection type of thing for them. They don't really give a damn, but no damn Allah. They don't give a damn with none of that shit. It's more of a protection type of thing for them, looks like. Based on my experience. You know? Yeah, they'll wear the fancy clothes, the lavish clothes. Nice clothes that they wear, by the way. You know, they'll wear all the lavish shit. Drive the lavish, you know, live in lavish houses and cars and clothes and jewelry. Yeah, all that shit. Especially in Dubai. You know, Dubai is probably the best developed country over there. At least the best developed country I've ever been to. In that neck of the woods. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I haven't been to all the countries in that area. I think Dubai is probably the best developed. Period. You know. I could be wrong, but I don't think so, based on my experience. You know. But yeah. So, you know, you got to take, in that neck of the woods, Middle East, you got to kind of take the shit they say with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, based on my experience. So, but that's where the women are coming from. If you want to date those types of women in that environment, they coming from that now. It ain't gonna be like, they're not gonna be like the Muslims here in America. No, they'll be similar, but not the same. You know, a girl in Dubai, shit, she might smoke weed, smoke cigarettes, drink every goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? Now the Muslim girl over here in America, she ain't gonna smoke or drink. More likely, no. There's probably some that slip up and do it every once in a while, but for the most part, they don't do it. And one of the main reasons why, well, there's some people just not drinkers and smokers. But let's say a Muslim girl or Muslim guys does slip up and have a drink now and then. Somebody gonna call them out. You know what I'm saying? And say, hey, Muslim girl ain't supposed to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? That she get called out. She or he over here. In the Middle East, Africa, man, they don't give a fuck. Nobody calling nobody out. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? You have to be aware of these things. And see, if you haven't been around these people, you're not going to know. They ain't going to tell you shit. It'll be like this guy here that left this comment earlier. And he'll make it seem what I was saying is wrong or false. No, I'm telling you what I've seen in my own eyes. And that's it. That's my truth. And I'm standing on it. Shit. So, hey, check out my book, Love at First Click, on Amazon.com. You know what I'm saying? This is what this book is all about. Me traveling to the Middle East and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? This was where I put most of my experiences in the book so you can go and read it. I can't talk about it all on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Everything is not for the internet. So, hey, that's all I got. Like, share this episode. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, I'm out.